incredibly damaging effects on the perceived legitimacy of the justice system. And that's really problematic in and of itself. Even if there is some legal merit to some of these cases, which is in question, the way in which these prosecutions are proceeding creates the perception that the president is just swooping in and pulling strings in the criminal justice system, and that undermines confidence in the whole system. We're now learning that the Justice Department is largely governed by norms and traditions, and those have been in place for over a century and have largely been abided by the leadership and the career workforce of the department. But at the end of the day, those things don't have any teeth. So if Donald Trump wants to disregard all of the norms and traditions that have kept our justice system functioning and created a sense of legitimacy for over a century, then there's really very little there to stop him. It goes hand in hand with the mass firings of career experts within the department, like myself. He has, through Pam Bondi and Todd Blanche, rooted out career professionals who are standing in the way of accomplishing his political agenda, and he is claiming a very broad constitutional power to do that without any checks, without any limitations. And as a result of pulling out people who are experienced in prosecuting and putting in place people like Lindsay Halligan, who has no idea what a criminal prosecution normally looks like, he is able to do a tremendous amount of damage to the legitimacy of our entire justice system.
Melissa Murray, when you think about what these three people have in common in the medium that matters most to Donald Trump, is that they aggressively and charismatically poked at all of his soft tissue, if you will. Jim Comey described his organization like a mob family, like Cosa Nostra, in his first book and his first interview about it. The criticisms were really not launched by Attorney General Tish James. She went out and proved they were true in the fraud case, the civil case, and held up a multi-million-dollar judgment against his company. Another pride point, I suppose, for him. And then John Bolton came in from the far right of the ideological spectrum and said not only all that, but he's an idiot. I mean, Bolton basically said he was too stupid to be a dictator. That was his line of attack against Donald Trump, repeated over and over and over again on television. So whatever the question or the answer is to Mike's question about finding a line around vindictive prosecutions, there is copious evidence that these were people that got way under Donald Trump's skin.
This is a very thin-skinned administration in a lot of respects, and these prosecutions make that very clear. But I want to emphasize it's not simply about seeking retribution from those who you believe have wronged you over time, whether it's John Bolton or Letitia James or Jim Comey. It's about sending a message to other people who would similarly stand up and dissent against your administration, that this is what happens when you stand against the machine. So these are typical strong man tactics that we have seen in authoritarian governments the world over. They're just being exported now to the United States. And he's using every lever of power to do this. So now it's the criminal